Chicago rapper Lil Durk.
Lil Durk targeted a rival rapper
in a murder-for-hire plot back in 2022.
Is in the hospital tonight after being attacked in federal prison.
From penthouse suites to a cold prison cell, Lil Durk's world flipped upside down in just 5 months. He's now locked inside MDC Los Angeles, waiting to face trial on some serious RICO-style charges. The feds aren't playing. They're accusing him of putting money on a rival's head. If he's found guilty, it could mean life behind bars. No parole, no escape. Before his day in court comes, people are wondering, what's life really like for the OTF boss behind those prison walls? Lil Durk went from the flashy lifestyle, mega mansions, foreign whips, private jets, to now waking up in a cramped gray cell. Gone are the silk sheets and high-rise views. Now it's all cement blocks and metal bunks. Real name Durk Derek Banks, he was arrested on October 24th and first held at the Miami Federal Detention Center. But this ain't just some regular legal drama. This time, the feds pulled up heavy. They slammed him with a superseding indictment. That means they added new, even worse charges on top of what he already had. The case? It's wild. The feds say Durk was tied to a murder-for-hire scheme that left blood on the streets. It all goes back to August 2022, when Quando Rondo's cousin was killed in what prosecutors are calling a planned hit. According to them, this wasn't random. This was organized, premeditated, and deadly. As investigators kept digging, they stacked on even more charges: conspiracy, illegal firearms, and arranging a hit. Each charge made it clearer. The government was out for blood, and they weren't letting Durk slide off easy. Durk's legal team tried to make moves fast, putting together a massive $3 million bond package, hoping to buy him some freedom. But the court, they weren't going for it. Judges stood firm and denied the request, making it clear they think he's too much of a risk to walk free, even with all that money on the table. Now he sits in MDC Los Angeles with the world watching and the clock ticking. The judge shut it down. No bail for Lil Durk. They said he was too much of a flight risk, and just like that, any shot at temporary freedom was crushed. Now he's stuck behind bars until his trial even begins. On November 13th, he was quietly moved to MDC Los Angeles, where he's now locked in tight with some of his closest OTF crew: Kayvon Cuss Grant, DeAndre Dede Wilson, Keith Flacca Jones, and A.A. Boogie Houston. All of them are facing the same heavy RICO charges. These were the same guys who used to run the streets with him. Now they're sharing cells in a federal lockup, wondering what their futures hold. And if Durk thought 1650 was going to be softer than Miami, he got it twisted. This place might look modern, but don't let the clean walls fool you. It's still a war zone. MDC LA, built back in '88, was supposed to be a holding spot for pretrial inmates, people waiting to see the judge, not serving full sentences. But with overcrowding and not enough staff, it's turned into a straight-up danger zone. There's no calm, no order. It's chaos on any given day. Unlike state prisons, where they separate inmates by how dangerous they are, MDC LA is a full mix. Drug bosses, gang heads, armed robbers, and high-profile names are all packed under the same roof. And when you throw that many alpha personalities into one place, boom, drama explodes fast. Fights break out over nothing. A side-eye can lead to someone getting jumped. A whisper can start a riot. Celebrity or not, there's no special treatment here. Lil Durk might be a platinum-selling rapper on the outside, but in MDC, he's just another inmate trying to survive. Some dudes in there don't care about fame. In fact, it makes him a bigger target. A name like his comes with heat. To make things even worse, the inside's crawling with contraband. Guards, yes, actual prison staff, have been caught sneaking in drugs, blades, and phones for the right price. That means some inmates are walking around armed and high, while others are setting up power plays through smuggled phones. It's not just dangerous, it's unpredictable every single minute. Corrupt guards are letting shady business slide, turning a blind eye while full-blown criminal networks grow behind bars. And for someone like Lil Durk, who's already got a massive target on his back because of his fame and ties to the streets, one wrong move could put him in serious danger. The prison itself? It's falling apart. Inmates have described MDCLA as rundown and neglected. We're talking busted equipment, disgusting conditions, and repairs that take forever to happen, if they even happen at all. Even getting basic stuff like soap or working toilets can take months. Life inside there is straight up miserable and unpredictable. Now, it might seem like a good thing that Durk's locked up with some of his OTF brothers, but when the feds are involved, loyalty gets shaky fast. Pressure makes people fold. And when everyone's facing serious time, even tight bonds start to crack. Just because they rolled together on the outside doesn't mean they'll all ride it out together inside. Durk and his crew aren't chilling in there, they're in survival mode. The feds aren't bluffing, they've built up a solid case. And as the trial gets closer, the heat's rising. Whispers of plea deals, secret talks, and potential snitches are everywhere. Nobody wants to be the last one standing when that gavel hits. And in the world of federal charges, snitching can come with big sentence cuts, which makes betrayal a real threat. Plus, it's not even clear how much Durk can actually speak with his co-defendants. In federal prison, it's common for them to separate people facing the same charges. The goal? Stop them from syncing up their stories or messing with witnesses. If the feds think there's even a hint of witness tampering, they'll come down even harder. And it gets messier. Court documents reveal Durk's already caught the attention of prison officials for breaking jail rules. He got busted making unauthorized three-way calls, which is strictly banned at MDC. Prosecutors jumped on that fast, claiming it shows he can't even follow the basic rules behind bars. Every little move is being watched. Every slip-up gets used against him. Inside those walls, it's not just about surviving the day, it's about staying one step ahead of the system and even the people around you. So if Lil Durk can't even follow jail rules, how could anyone trust him to follow the law if he got out? That slip-up with the phone call was just another strike against him, another reason the judge tossed out his bail request. But it's not just about the danger inside. There's a whole mental war going on too. Being locked up, cut off from your people, with nothing to do but wait for the system to decide your fate. That kind of pressure hits different. Durk built his whole brand on surviving tough situations, staying solid no matter what. But now he's facing the hardest test of all, surviving mentally behind bars. MDC LA might offer basic mental health services, but let's be real. For someone like Durk, that help is barely there. Sure, there's crisis intervention and some therapy options, but one-on-one sessions or real support, super rare. Most of the time, inmates are left to battle their demons solo. The isolation eats at you, not knowing what's next, feeling watched all the time. That paranoia, that silence, it can chip away at your sanity, even if you think you're built for this. The walls don't just trap your body, they mess with your head. Durk's only real break from that pressure comes from the limited rec time the prison offers. There's basketball, ping pong, pool, and even some GED classes if inmates want to level up their education. But let's not act like it's peaceful. Even on the basketball court, you've got to keep your head on a swivel. One wrong look, one wrong word, it could all pop off in seconds. Still, despite everything, Durk's trying to keep it together, or at least that's what he's showing the outside world. A leaked prison phone call from November 15th had him sounding hopeful, telling a friend he was staying focused and keeping his energy up for his kids and family. Just got off the phone with my brother at Dare. He in good spirit, staying positive and fighting to get back home to his kids and family. Read an Instagram caption about the call. We not glorifying negativity. We're more than just street guys. We're men of honor and code. But here's the question. How much of that is truth? And how much of it is just for show? In a place like MDC, keeping up appearances can be the only way to stay strong. Or it can be a mask hiding the breakdown underneath. No matter how tough you think you are, prison leaves a mark. The weight of an upcoming trial, the fear of a life-changing sentence, and the stress of not knowing who might fold under pressure, it all starts to eat away at you. Lil Durk might be keeping it calm over the phone, but behind the scenes, he's fighting a war like he's never experienced before. And things aren't slowing down, they're getting worse. The longer he stays locked up, the more likely it becomes that jail won't just be a pit stop. It might be where he stays for good. Let's break it down. Durk's legal situation has spiraled way past what it was when he first got picked up. What began as a murder-for-hire charge has now turned into a full-blown, high-stakes RICO case. And anyone who knows the game knows that when the feds hit you with RICO, they're not just trying to lock you up. They're trying to erase your name. If he gets convicted, that's life. No parole, no deals, no second shot. The government isn't just coming after Lil Durk, they're trying to take down his whole movement. The first superseding indictment, unsealed back in November 2024, lays out a dark and detailed picture. Prosecutors aren't talking about one crime. They've put together a timeline, years of alleged violence, retaliation, and street control. And at the center of it all, they're pointing the finger at Durk. The feds are saying Lil Durk used his OTF brand, Only the Family, not just as a music label, but as a front for a full-fledged criminal empire. According to them, OTF isn't just a group of rappers. It's a gang involved in murder, assault, and organized street-level racketeering. And this isn't just theory. The feds are working the same playbook they've used for years to crush organized crime. The RICO Act, originally created to wipe out mafia families, is now their go-to move for taking down rap crews, drill collectives, and anyone with street influence. Durk, they say, acted like a boss, allegedly calling shots, using his money and status to order hits, reward violence, and maintain OTF's grip on the streets. The indictment even connects the case to the 2020 murder of King Von, hinting that this situation might go way deeper than anyone thought. The way it's looking, the feds didn't just come to arrest a rapper, they came to crush an empire. King Von's death wasn't just another tragic loss in the drill scene. It lit a fuse that sparked a violent chain reaction filled with paranoia, revenge, and bodies dropping. According to prosecutors, after Von was gunned down in Atlanta, Lil Durk wasn't about to let it slide. They say he put a bounty on the heads of those believed to be responsible, setting off a deadly plot that led to the August 2022 attack on Quando Rondo's crew out in Los Angeles. And this wasn't just street talk. The feds say they've got proof, real evidence, surveillance videos, tapped phone calls, text messages, and even lyrics they claim are low-key confessions. This isn't one of those cases built on hearsay. The government is coming with months of detailed investigation, witness statements, and even people from the inside who've decided to talk. But Lil Durk ain't the only one caught up in this mess. Several of his closest OTF associates are also in the crosshairs, each being accused of playing a role in what the feds say was a full-blown murder plot. Kayvon London Grant, known on the streets as Cousin Ivani, is being painted as the one who helped set the whole thing up. The feds say he was in charge of logistics and helped secure the weapons used in the hit. Then there's DeAndre Drell Wilson, aka Didi, who allegedly traveled with the crew from out of state to LA just to carry out the mission. Keith Jones, aka Flacca, is being called one of the shooters, accused of actually pulling the trigger alongside other masked gunmen. David Brian Lindsay, aka Brown, is said to have been part of the planning squad, helping coordinate every step. And A.A. Houston, aka Boogie, he's accused of being the getaway driver and the one who helped clean up the mess afterward, allegedly handling the destruction of evidence. The indictment doesn't stop there. It lists over 25 separate overt acts, each one a move in what the feds claim was a calculated murder-for-hire plot. They're saying everything was planned, from using OTF credit cards to book flights to securing automatic weapons to setting up encrypted messages so no one could trace them. Nothing was off the cuff. Every detail was allegedly mapped out. If what the feds are saying is true, this wasn't just retaliation. It was organized, executed, and deadly. And here's where things really spiral. This ain't just about prison time anymore. The feds aren't stopping at life sentences. They're coming for everything. If Lil Durk and his co-defendants get convicted, the government's aiming for criminal forfeiture. That means they could lose it all. Mansions, luxury whips, iced out chains, even money made off music tied to the alleged crimes. The feds want to shut it down completely. No riches, no legacy, no comeback. And don't think it's just word of mouth holding this case together. The feds leveled up their game. They've got technology on lock and they're using it like pros. The FBI allegedly intercepted multiple phone calls between Durk and his crew, calls that weren't just casual convos. Prosecutors say these were coded talks that reveal a murder-for-hire plot unfolding in real time. One of the heaviest pieces of evidence, a phone convo where Durk allegedly greenlit a hit, followed by him rapping about it in a track. Prosecutors are saying his lyrics aren't just art, they're confessions. And they've used that same strategy in other big-name cases, like YNW Melly and Young Thug's RICO trials. So don't be surprised if bars become exhibits in court. And it doesn't stop there. Surveillance footage reportedly tracks Durk's crew moving before and after the hit went down. On top of that, financial records allegedly show shady payments made around the time of the attack lining up with the feds' timeline. They've built this case like a puzzle, piece by piece from every angle. But the real bombshell? Confidential informants. Somebody close to the circle may have flipped. All eyes have been on a longtime OTF member named Jam. He was considered solid. He did over 10 years for an attempted murder charge and never folded, earning real street respect. But once he got out in 2022, the rumors started flying. Word on the street is that Jam might have turned informant, working with the feds, wearing a wire, and feeding them inside info on OTF's every move. And this ain't just gossip. Sources claim Jam handed over direct evidence tying Durk to the alleged murder-for-hire plot that targeted Quando Rondo. If that's true, That's devastating. It means someone from the inside helped build this entire case. And for a crew built on loyalty and code, that kind of betrayal cuts deep. Chicago rapper King Yella came forward with a bombshell, claiming that Jam even linked Lil Durk directly to the murder of Lul Pab, Quando Rondo's cousin. That hit, according to feds and insiders, was payback for King Von's death. But that wasn't the only twist. Things got real messy after a video surfaced featuring DJ Academics and Chicago-based reporter Trench's News, shedding even more light on what may have pushed Jam to flip. According to the video, it all started with a call for help, literally. Jam's baby mama had allegedly reached out to Durk, asking for help with legal fees. But when Durk reportedly brushed her off, Jam took it personal, real personal. "You're not supposed to brush off my call when I need something," Jam allegedly snapped. Trench's News backed that story up immediately, saying, "That's facts." And from there, the whispers turned into a full-blown firestorm. Even industry vet Wacka 100 jumped into the mix, chiming in on Jam's rumored shift from loyal street soldier to federal informant. He painted a picture of a man who once had the streets' full respect. He did 12 years, got out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him 50,000, made mention that ain't no smudge on his name. He ain't never been a rat, Wack recalled. But things changed fast. Caught a gun case, and eventually he flipped. Still, Jam didn't stay silent. As rumors exploded, he clapped back in December 2024 with a long post denying everything. He said he wasn't the snitch and had nothing to do with how the feds built their case. "When the discovery come out, you going to see I'm not how the feds got onto us or built their case. I'ma let the paperwork come out, 'cause it's gon' tell it all," Jam wrote. But even with the denial, the damage might already be done. Behind all the drama, the prosecution is focused on one thing, painting Durk not just as a rapper talking about street life, but as the man calling shots behind the scenes. They want the court to believe he wasn't just rhyming about violence for clout, he was living it, directing it, and funding it. Whether Jam's really the one who flipped or not, the case is already stacked. And every new piece of info, every claim, every denial, it just makes things even murkier for Durk and OTF. Lil Durk's legal battle isn't just about him, it's turning into a showdown between hip-hop and the justice system. Over and over, we've watched major rappers get dragged into heavy legal drama, from Young Thug's RICO fight to Bobby Shmurda's conspiracy case. But what makes this different? The feds are involved, and when the feds step in, it's a whole different game. Federal cases hit harder, dig deeper, and are almost impossible to beat. If Durk falls, it won't just be the fall of one artist. It could signal the collapse of one of the most powerful movements in modern rap. His music, his brand, his influence, everything he built could come crashing down. Fans are flooding timelines with hashtag #FreeDurk posts, hoping he beats the case. But the outlook is rough. Unless something major shifts, the same rapper who once looked unstoppable might now be facing life behind bars with no way out. And here's the part that chills everyone. The trial hasn't even started yet. The feds are only warming up, and when they want someone, they don't slow down, they don't tap out, they go all in until they get that conviction. So what's next for Durk? That's the million-dollar question. Time is slipping away for him. What started as a fast-moving case has now hit delays, giving both sides more time to strategize. But for Durk, those delays don't bring peace. They bring more time locked up, more stress, more mind games, and more fear about how this ends. His murder-for-hire trial, originally scheduled for January 7th, 2025, has now been pushed all the way back to October 14th, 2025. That delay shows just how massive and complicated this case really is. We're talking 230 gigabytes of digital evidence, 20,000 pages of documents, countless hours of surveillance footage and witness statements. The government is coming with the full playbook. They want this win bad, and they're not leaving any gaps. So now the real question, does Durk actually stand a chance? Or is this delay just dragging out the inevitable? Is he fighting for freedom or just buying time before everything comes crashing down? Either way, the clock is ticking and the pressure's getting heavier by the day. Federal prosecutors are treating Lil Durk's case like one of the biggest hip-hop criminal takedowns in years. The first superseding indictment paints him as a full-blown mastermind, calling hits, bankrolling violence, and using his OTF label as a front for a street empire. But not everyone's buying that story. Some legal experts and a ton of fans say the case against him isn't as bulletproof as the feds are making it out to be. One of the major issues? A lot of the evidence is circumstantial. The feds claim that OTF credit cards were used to buy flights, rental cars, and even masks for the alleged hit squad. But here's the catch. Those cards weren't locked in Durk's pocket 24/7. His legal team is arguing that multiple people had access to those accounts. Just because a flight was booked with an OTF card doesn't mean Durk himself gave the green light. Then there's the alleged message from Durk saying, "Don't book no flights or anything associated with my name." The prosecution wants to spin that as proof he was in on the plan, but Durk's defense is flipping it, saying that message actually shows he didn't want to be connected. He was trying to stay out of whatever was going on. And what about the surveillance footage? The feds say OTF members were caught on camera meeting after the hit to talk about payments and music deals, suggesting it was all tied together. But if Durk wasn't physically in that room, that opens up doubt. His lawyers are ready to argue that if he wasn't present, you can't prove he made the call. Some legal analysts say unless the government drops a smoking gun, like a direct confession from Durk, a wiretap with an explicit order, or someone flipping and naming names, the case isn't as solid as it looks. Sure, the feds are stacking evidence, but fans are pointing out the cracks. On Reddit and social media, the support is loud. One user boldly posted, "Mark my word, Durk will walk." They claim it's the co-defendants who are really in trouble. And even if someone did flip, if they've got a record, defense attorneys will tear them apart during cross-examination. So while the government is building a massive case, there's a growing belief that they might not have enough to take Durk down. Not yet. A lot of fans are standing firm in their belief. There's no direct proof linking Lil Durk to the actual hit. Unlike the alleged shooter, Durk wasn't even at the scene when the murder went down. Unless the prosecutors are hiding some secret ace that proves he was the one pulling the strings, tying him to this as the mastermind might be harder than they're letting on. Using OTF credit cards to book travel, that's not solid evidence, at least not in the eyes of his supporters. They argue that tons of people within Durk's circle had access to the label's money. Just because someone used the OTF card for a flight or car rental doesn't automatically mean Durk approved it. And then there's his image. Over the past couple of years, Durk's been putting effort into cleaning up his name. His defense team could highlight his charitable efforts, his conversion to Islam, and his recent focus on uplifting music like All My Life as proof he's moving away from street activity and into a more positive path. One fan really broke it down, saying Durk has about a 60 to 80% chance of beating the case. To them, the only thing that even comes close to tying Durk to a murder-for-hire plot is that one message where he tells someone not to book flights or anything under his name, and that the defense could spin as Durk distancing himself, basically saying, "Whatever y'all are doing, don't bring my name into it." That angle could flip the whole thing on its head, turning the prosecution's supposed evidence into proof that Durk wasn't involved. That instead of orchestrating the hit, he was trying to keep his name and brand clean, but not everybody's buying it. Some fans and legal observers are saying, this is the feds we're talking about. And when the feds come for you, they usually don't miss. If they're coming this hard for Durk, then chances are they've got more in their back pocket. And then there's the wild card, the co-defendants. Right now, 5 other OTF members are fighting the same charges as Durk, and each one is staring down the possibility of life in prison. That kind of pressure can make people flip fast. In fact, one of them, DeAndre "Dee Dee" Wilson, has already requested a pre-plea sentence report, a move that strongly hints he might be thinking about taking a deal. And if anyone testifies against Durk, that could change everything. If DeAndre "Dee Dee" Wilson flips and agrees to testify, it could hand the feds exactly what they need to bury Lil Durk for good. That's why Durk's legal team is laser focused on every move the other co-defendants make. The courtroom isn't the only battlefield. It's the loyalty inside his own circle that could make or break him. Right now, there are 4 major ways this can play out. 1, a not guilty verdict. This is the dream outcome for Durk. If his legal team can tear apart the government's case and create enough doubt, he could walk free. It's not impossible, but let's be real. Beating the feds in a case this deep is rare. Federal conviction rates are sky high, and they don't go to trial unless they feel locked in. 2, a plea deal. This is probably the most likely outcome if things start looking shaky for the defense. If Durk and his lawyers feel the odds are stacked too high, they could try to strike a deal. But here's the harsh truth. A plea deal in a murder-for-hire case still means heavy time. We're talking 20 years or more in federal prison, no shortcuts, no early outs. 3, a conviction. This is the nightmare scenario. If Durk goes to trial and loses, it's mandatory life. No parole, no early release, nothing. If that guilty verdict hits, it's lights out. He'll be looking at spending the rest of his life locked up, watching the world move on without him. Fourth, a co-defendant flips. The deadliest outcome. If any of the 5 OTF members decides to work with the feds, it could be the final blow. The government loves insider testimony. A former ally on the stand, pointing fingers, that's the kind of evidence juries don't ignore. If one of Durk's own testifies, beating the case becomes almost impossible. If Lil Durk does beat this case, it'll be a historic win for hip-hop, a rare moment where a major rap figure escapes the full force of a federal takedown. It would show that the feds don't always win, even when they come in swinging. But if he loses, it sends a chilling message across the industry that no matter how big your name is, they'll come for you like any street boss or gang leader. No favoritism, no protection. Even with the threat of life behind bars hanging over him, Durk isn't slowing down. He's still putting out music, still staying in the conversation, and still proving that, for now, his voice isn't silenced. The legal war may be raging, but that hasn't stopped Lil Durk's team from keeping his artistic legacy alive. Before the feds came knocking, Durk was at the top of his game, dropping hit after hit, teasing big-name collabs, and building hype for what was shaping up to be the biggest rap release of 2024. His highly anticipated album, Deep Thoughts, was originally set to drop on October 18th, 2024, and fans had been counting down for months. But once Durk got arrested, everything shifted. Quietly, the release was pushed to November 22nd, something fans caught when Apple Music quietly updated the date. It wasn't announced, it just changed. Still, supporters stayed hopeful, thinking maybe Durk could beat the odds and still bless the streets. Then things got worse. As the case heated up and delays mounted, the album got pushed again, this time to March 2025. That second delay had fans seriously frustrated. Deep Thoughts had been building buzz for nearly 2 years, with tracks like Turn Up a Notch, Monitoring Me, and Late Checkout holding it down in the meantime. This wasn't just another project. This was supposed to be Durk's most personal work yet. Word was it dove deep into his rise, his losses, the weight of fame, and the darkness that sometimes comes with success. So when things started stalling, emotions ran high. To make things even wilder, a fake track list leaked online on October 1st, and it set social media on fire. Names like Kai Cenat, Morgan Wallen, and Sabrina Carpenter were listed as features, throwing fans into chaos. Some praised the crossover potential, while others claimed Durk was selling out and ditching his drill roots. Thankfully, Durk shut that noise down. He confirmed the leaked track list was cap, but didn't reveal what the real one looked like, keeping the mystery alive and fans on edge. One track fans are begging to hear is Walk Hard, a long-rumored collab with Drake. The track's been teased by DJ Academics and Aden Ross, and Ak even played what looked like a preview of the music video. But then came the twist. Rumors started flying that Drake had been removed from the song. Whether that's true or not, the buzz around Deep Thoughts just keeps growing. Even with Durk behind bars, his name, his music, and his story continue to shake up the game. Once it was confirmed that the leaked Deep Thoughts track list was fake, fans instantly got hyped again, especially over the chance that the Drake feature might actually be real. But with Durk still locked up and the album on ice, the big question remains, will he even get the chance to release it? Even with the madness surrounding his case, Durk's not facing it all alone. His family has been holding him down from the jump, showing up to court, speaking out publicly, and letting the world know they're riding with him no matter how it plays out. Through every twist and turn, they've stayed close. One person who stood out the most is his longtime partner, India Royale. She was spotted outside the courthouse after his arrest, and those pics went viral fast. Her standing strong, waiting for updates, had social media buzzing. Some fans praised her loyalty, calling it real love and proof that she's a ride or die. But not everyone agreed. Some people called it normal behavior, saying that kind of support should be expected in any committed relationship. Why are we acting like this is something special? Every couple should act like this, one user posted on X, formerly Twitter. And of course, there were doubters. Some questioned how long her support would really last if Durk ends up doing serious time. Let's see if she sticks it out once the heat really kicks in. Another user added, it's a fair concern. Prison changes everything, including relationships. Durk and India's love story has had its rough patches. They've been together since 2017 with a public breakup in 2022 that had fans guessing they were done. But time and again, they've bounced back. And India's presence at court shows she might still be holding it down. With deep thoughts still in limbo and Durk's legal future unclear, his supporters are staying loud and loyal. But while he fights for freedom, the ones closest to him are also battling, keeping his name alive, keeping the energy strong, and showing the world that he's not forgotten. That's it for today's update. What do you think? Will India stick by him for the long haul? Will Durk get the chance to drop his most personal project yet? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest updates on hip-hop's biggest stories. See you on the next one.